In this video, I want to get into a little preliminary discussion about backups. I think this kind of thing is important because there are some situations that you really need to know about with regards to maintaining backups and why they're done. First of all, what is a backup? A backup is a specially named compressed file that contains all of the data that has been entered into your database and has not been erased as of the moment the backup was made. So if you can kind of wrap your head around that, it's basically everything that you've done in Surpass from the time you created your database to the moment that the backup was made that has not been erased. So this includes everything: license numbers, patrons, passwords, mark records, patron photos. Everything that you've entered is in a Surpass backup. The features of a backup are they are very portable. You can move them around, copy them to flash drives, copy them to CD-ROMs. It's a file just like any other file on your computer. So they're made specifically to be very movable, very portable. The name of each backup begins and ends in SBK, stands for Surpass Backup. The date and time are in the name, and the name takes the form of SBK underscore date underscore time period SBK. You can easily identify these files and you can easily find them by doing a search. If you are on the right computer, of course, you can do a search for SBK star or star SBK, and you should come up with your Surpass backups if you're looking for them. There's an easier way to find your Surpass backups, and I will show you that as well. Typically, backups are located in the Surpass data folder that is in a standard installation. The standard installation of Surpass, the backups are in a backup folder that sits inside the data folder. There are some situations when I think it's a good idea that you should make a backup, and let's just look at those briefly. There are many operations in Surpass that have a large-scale effect, or in some cases a global effect, on your mark records or on your data. And whenever you're about to do something to your data that is going to have a global effect or a large-scale effect, or you are about to do something that you think has at least a chance of having some unwanted effects, it's a good idea to just go ahead and make a backup. Making a backup takes about 10 or 15 seconds, and or possibly even 30 seconds, but it's absolutely worth every second when you think of how well you'll sleep, realizing that you have something that you can fall back on in case you mess up your data. So what are these times when you should make a backup? Before importing a large number of books, it's probably not a bad idea to go ahead and make a backup. If you're not terribly familiar with the import procedure and you're just not sure, go ahead and make a backup. Before using toolbox functions, many of toolbox's functions are global functions, and toolbox is very powerful, and you may, if you're not careful, you can do something to your database that you may not have intended. So before using any of Toolbox's functions, go ahead and make a backup. And before advancing patron grades, if you have patrons, before doing a patron grade advance or any of the patron end of year functions, go ahead and make a backup just in case. Before performing end of year tasks, once again, any kind of purging, any kind of end of year functions, go ahead and make a backup. If you're going to purge items, patrons, transactions, lost items, missing items, whatever, drawn items, before you do any of this, go ahead and make a backup. At least you know you can get to that data again if you need to. All that data will be sitting in that backup that was made before whatever task it is you are about to perform gets performed. If you're having network issues or server issues, if it's known that there have been problems in the network, things are slowing down, go ahead and make a backup. There's no harm in having extra backups. You can set the number of backups to be held to be to a greater number so that you have a little bit more of a cushion. And remember, your data is only as good as your last backup. Now, this is not meant to frighten you, but it is a dose of reality. Servers die, hard drives die, power goes out, earthquakes happen, hurricanes happen. Anything can happen that can have an effect on your data in some way. Viruses happen, Trojans slip into the network. Just be ready. Make a backup. It doesn't take long.